And I know you've already been through this, so you're saying that the same people that do the polls here in the United States also do these in other countries, and for some reason in those other countries they're able to get the polling fairly accurately. Here in the United States they do the polling very accurately, but it seems that if you look at the in the primary, if you look at the Democratic exit polls versus the Republican exit polls are very, very close, and the large variances only tend to happen on the Democratic side. Where do you suppose that actually is?
Well, they're accurate here when they do exit polls. It's not the exit polls that are inaccurate. It's the votes. Okay? So let's keep that in mind. And when people say, oh, the exit polls are always wrong, they're off. But they never consider that there's election fraud. And, the whole thing is very ridiculous. Even the pollsters won't mention the fraud word. They say, oh, well, every election is the same story. Well, we were off by 3 or 4%, but they were early polls, and you can't really, we had, but the excuses they gave, I've proven are inadequate by actual numbers, okay? So the exit pollsters do a good job here, but then they go to they make the final step of taking the result and matching to the vote, okay? Now, that's not what they should do. They're assuming, it's implying that the vote count is absolutely perfect. So that's why and the exit poll was wrong. So that's why they're adjusting it. But that's a very bad assumption to make. It just so happens that our elections are much more vulnerable to hacking and manipulation than in other countries like Germany, where they don't really screw around with the polls or with the votes. They're much more honest. As I said, the Harvard, I said it before we got on. Harvard University did a study of Western democracy election voting systems. We were ranked dead last among Western democracies in the Western Hemisphere. I think I was around 37 or 40. The study is available. It was just done recently. And of course, the mainstream media won't talk about that study. Why are we ranked last? Well, obviously we don't, it's the way we run the elections. We don't have the proper controls.
What would some of these controls actually look like to actually help us have a better election system? But before I ask that, let me go back. You said we ranked dead last. What are the factors they're actually rating us on?
The processes that we use. In other words, the accuracy of the results, the election, the steps that are taken to ensure a good election. In other words, even Jimmy Carter, president, was very critical of our election systems. He himself said we ranked very poorly. In other words, the oversight of the process. We know we have machines that are both voting machines and central tabulators. We do not have access to the programming code. It's proprietary. That should tell you all you have to know. Why is it that we can't look inside the machine at the code? There's only one reason. They don't want us to look. And this has been going on since 2002. Okay? It's proprietary. So what they can do is they can program the machines to flip votes. And that's what they do. If it was all on the up and up, it would be proprietary. Plus, now here's what we can do. Okay, you're asking me, what can we do to eliminate the fraud? Well, it's really a couple of things. Unfortunately, they won't be done because the election officials and politicians don't want absolutely fair elections. I hate to say it, but it's true. If they did, they would have done something about it 10 years ago. Now, here's how you solve the problem if you want to solve it. First of all, you do hand-counted paper ballots. You post the results on the wall at the precinct. You upload those results, all the votes on that precinct, up to the internet on some server. But the software is open source software that's written by individuals who are collaborating. It's available for you or I to look at if we wanted to. And the voting machines are not proprietary, built by right-wing organizations. So you have a totally transparent system. Now, the vote count on the precinct wall had better equal the vote count of the precincts stored online, just like as if you would go to look at your bank account. You go online, look at the precinct, you see your code number, you don't see your name, you see your code number, and you know who you voted for. And all that gets totaled up, it gets tabulated. It's effectively, we have our own central tabulators that are online. We don't use proprietary central tabulators at the voting site. They're non-proprietary systems. So we have the transparency. If the numbers from the posted on the precinct wall do not agree 100% with those posted online, then we know we've got a problem. There should be absolutely zero disparity. That's your solution. We use computers for everything, all transactions. It'd be a very simple matter to write a system that would be very difficult to hack. Because remember, you have the votes posted at the precinct. If the system is hacked, there's going to be a difference between the precinct posted totals and the numbers on the tabulator. So, and that's data redundancy, it's data transparency. That's what's needed. Right now we have neither. We have maliciously programmed voting machines. Okay, we have maliciously programmed central tabulators. They could steal votes right at the machine, or they could steal it when the votes could be entered at the machine, sent to the tabulator, where the tabulator gets votes from all different precincts, puts them together, and manipulates the totals. So it's not just the voting machines, okay? It's the tabulators that you don't see. They're in a back room somewhere, okay? That's your solution. Very simple. You get top programmers who are everybody. You see, you don't have one group controlling it. You've got a bunch of. It's a democracy. Everybody's working together. Nobody can just go in there and gum up the system. You've got the controls built in so that it's a collaborative effort. It's called open source program.